Dark Souls is a solid game. It's the first in the trilogy, so of course you're going to see a lot of rough edges. It's very apparent in the second half of the game if you make it that far. This was the defining game for the trilogy though, which would be released for the next half-decade. 6 years almost of Dark Souls content would be released. So I finally got around to completing the first one, and overall I had a fun time with it.
I need you to never do that again, bro. They did it again. As soon as I said them not to, as soon as I told them not to, they did it again, goddamn it.
Like I said, overall, I got frustrated in some moments and angry at others, but I enjoyed myself, and I just wanted to talk about the takeaways I got from the game, the bosses, the environment, and everything in between. The main talking point of this game is always the beginning half. It's very strong, insanely strong actually. There is so much in the beginning that I genuinely enjoyed, and it makes me happy that I'm still able to play these slower paced games, considering I can overload my brain with dopamine from YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels. Running back through the environment after dying to a boss or backtracking in order to get new items or purchase something I may need for an upcoming area was always fun. I found myself taking in the environments and enemy attack patterns as I fought my way through, and I actually made it a point to fight through most of those areas. I felt it was the intended experience. I used to just run through most of the areas in a lot of the FromSoft games, but when I decided not to and actually fight my way through, they've gotten a lot more enjoyable, albeit sometimes more frustrating too. Anyways, let's do a little run back to the runbacks. Bonfire placements are seriously important for this, and since you're not able to warp until the second half of the game, they all had to be well placed so that they wouldn't feel too out of the way and so that they wouldn't be too close together, making it too easy. They did a good job at this. This isn't like Dark Souls 3 or Elden Ring with bonfires and graces stationed right next to each other. Bonfires acted as checkpoints, as we all know, but that's truest in this game. Resting makes it your respawn point. Seems simple, but add in the idea of kindling, it gets a little more interesting. Kindling will increase your Estus flask charges when resting at that particular bonfire, increasing by 5 each kindling. The Firelink Shrine has a base of 10, so long story short, you can run back to Firelink Shrine if you believe you need all 10 Estus for an upcoming fight, or however many you currently have kindled at that bonfire. The bonfires are able to replenish all of your resources, and your Estus flasks are saved as long as they're not used. Use one while going back, you'll still have 9 upon resting at a different bonfire. I found myself running back to the Firelink Shrine a few times, knowing it would just be better to have that safety net of 5 extra flasks. You just have to run all the way back without losing those charges. With all the shortcuts and bonfires placed around, these runbacks are good and fun when you decide to actually kill the enemies, not just run past them, like the coward you are. With all that being said, the interconnected world is also amazing, which is another big talking point about this game. The other games keep this alive, allowing you to see previous locations from new ones or new locations from the ones you're currently in. Dark Souls 1 did it masterfully, in my opinion, and a big part of that is because of the limited warping. With no way to quickly jump between places, they needed to be connected. And Orlando is the first time we are brought to a new area that is inaccessible to the old ones. That's when we gain the ability to warp between bonfires. After you gain the ability to warp, the second half of the game falls short compared to the first, which is unfortunate because this is the part where you fight the lords, the big bosses you saw at the beginning cutscene. 2 of them are actually cool fights. And then you got Seath and Beta Chaos. Out of all the bosses, the one I remember most is the 4 kings, out of the lords. The moveset was, I felt, intuitive, allowing for plenty of openings, and overall just felt like a very strong boss. There was no BS attacks. Maybe one. There was one attack that bothered me. As for the other 3, Beta Chaos is just, I don't even need to say anything about that. Seath is kind of just, boring. Gravelord Nito is my favorite design of the 4, but the fight was over really quickly, and I don't really remember it. A lot of the boss's movesets were very limited. You have quite a few strong ones, but not many. Most of them have less than 10 moves, I believe. They're not that memorable either. The DLC set a much better precedent with bosses with great fights like Artorias, Manus, Calamite, and Sanctuary Guardian. All the fights in the DLC were really good, and while it didn't take me many tries, they were still very enjoyable to beat, and I felt accomplished. I think if the whole game had bosses this good, the later half of the game would have been so much better instead of Seath and the Bed of Chaos. Artorias is definitely the best fight in the game, followed by Manus, I believe. And now that could be recency bias. Those are the last two bosses I really fought, other than Calamite, who was also a really good fight. But their movesets were varied, and it was just fun to play against. There was a lot more to actually dodge and do in those fights. Compare that to the Bed of Chaos, which, yes, is a gimmick fight, but it's definitely the worst gimmick fight they've ever made. But I haven't finished Dark Souls 2, and I don't know if there's worse in that game. Speaking of Bed of Chaos, although I don't really think that has much to do with it anyway, who the fuck cares? Hitboxes are interesting in this game. It's old, so of course it's going to have some issues, but the issues of lingering hitboxes is present through all of the game, even to the DLC. Certain attacks will continue to damage you even after they are no longer in motion. The best example I can think of this is with the Centipede Demon with his stretchy neck attack thing. Typically, when an attack has no more motion in it, I assume that's the time to attack back. Now with this son of a bitch, that hitbox will linger and hit the hell out of you if you decide to get a little too close. And it wouldn't be an issue if he didn't spam the fucking thing.
Like, that fucking hitbox. Okay. What the fuck ever, man. Really?
He's also one of my least favorite bosses because of that. Honestly, the entirety of the Lost Izalith area is just They reuse a bunch of bosses as normal enemies, and I see a lot of people say it's to see how far you've come. And yes, I agree with that, but as many other people also say, it's just not cool to see 6 Taurus demons standing in what looks like someone just got their hands on Halo Forge and just spawned a bunch of gun gooses. It just doesn't look right. It looks rushed. Another few attacks that I felt like were lingering is especially with the Titanite demon. That jump attack. They jump into the air and slam down their halberd, which one of my favorite looking weapons, by the way. But I would dodge into them, and for some reason I would get hit, even though I figured my iframes would not get me hit. Just fucking look at it. Dodging in general feels strange, and that's not due to the dodge itself, but rather the weight system. Say you have light weight load. The dodges are completely fine, but as soon as you pass over to the mid-rolls, it's like you're fat rolling from the other games. There is no reason to be over light rolling unless you intend on face tanking every hit in the game with Havel armor. The weight system feels right, but due to that mid-roll being so slow and cumbersome, it throws it off to making it just feel more finicky to work with. Oh, more. Lock on. A system that they have relatively perfected in the new games, but in the original, it's just horrible. So you have a dodge, right? Simple FromSoft stuff. This dodge is locked to 4 directions when you're locked onto an enemy. Left, right, forward, backwards. You cannot dodge at an angle, which already throws it off horribly. So, most people decide to play this game unlocked, which I myself did, and I would only lock on very rarely. Having freedom of movement with your rolls is just better. You fall into a lot less traps and a lot less BS if you decide to play the game unlocked. So if you're going to play through this game, work on unlocking your camera and just play it like that. If you feel like you can't hit certain things, then lock on for a second, but unlock immediately. Just keep that control, because if you stay locked on, you're going to find your dodge rolls are not as effective. Another thing I do hear about a lot, which is complained about, is the lack of direction. And yes, this is Dark Souls. It's not supposed to hold your hand. There should be some sort of tutorial or direction that you're given. There is. A lot, actually. You just have to talk to the NPCs. They explain a lot of the game's mechanics. You just have to talk to them. But the issue is, when you're getting into Dark Souls, especially now, you're not looking to talk to people. You want to get to the action. You want to get to the bosses that everyone's talking about. Ornstein and Smo, Artorias, Manus, Calamine. That's where you want to go. So talking to these NPCs feels like a waste of time because you probably think you're only going to get lore and other things, but they actually tell you a lot of the mechanics. Andre tells you all about smithing and how you can upgrade weapons and how it works and how you can upgrade them yourself with certain things that you can buy from him. The Crestfallen Knight explains to you where you have to go. Like, not to a T, of course, but the game is still it's heavy exploration based, so it doesn't want to hold your hand, but it wants to guide you. It wants to point you in the direction. It doesn't want to grab you and throw you in the direction. Upon playing New Game Plus a little bit and actually taking my time talking to people because I wanted to do the quest lines, but I kind of gave up because I'm just Dark Souls out. I'm Dark Souled out for a little bit, if that's how you say it. Yeah, Dark Souled out. Just, you have to talk to them. Solaire explains co-oping very well, and gives you some cool lore along the side, but it's just a lot of, you have to talk to NPCs. You have to take this game slow. You have to kill enemies as you go, because if you don't, you're going to get stuck in areas. If you don't talk to NPCs, you're not going to know how the game works. Alright, so just very quickly, I want to restate that there are some areas in which you should not fight the enemies, okay? Lost Izalith, fuck that area. Don't fight anything. Run to Beta Chaos, kill it, and never go back. Shit area. So, even with the flaws that this game has, I still very much enjoyed it. At the end of the day, we just want a fun experience from video games, and this gave it to me. The bosses were mostly enjoyable. The areas and environments were not only pretty, but incredibly well designed, interconnected, plenty of secrets and paths to find. I'm certain I missed a couple areas, seeing other gameplay footage, but that's alright, because I can always go back through New Game Plus, which is a whole nother thing. You can just enjoy the whole thing over again. And hopefully this time I'm going to wipe the floor with some of these bosses, because they really pissed me off sometimes, I gotta admit. And if that fucking Beta Chaos makes me tweak out, I may pay Miyazaki a visit. Anyways, I'll just have to say, if you made it this far in the video, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm trying something, really hoping it works. We're gonna see how it goes. But thank you, and consider looking at the other videos I've posted. I know it's not many, but simply just using it as background noise if you want, I would greatly appreciate that. So thank you, and have a good day.